going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite topic in the zombies community, a 2023 zombies experience that got rumored, and how Cold War Zombies could still get an update. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and be sure to show any support that you possibly can over on the Facebook gaming page. Really means the world to me. We're very close to our goal of 1,000 followers, and I do post a variety of content on there, whether it's extra Call of Duty topics, or even coverage of other popular games that you may enjoy. The link for that is, of course, down in this video's description. But yesterday we had a major bombshell to report on thanks to Bloomberg, who is currently claiming that for the 20-year anniversary of Call of Duty in 2023, we are not going to be seeing a game actually released that year. And that's crazy considering that was supposed to be the release date of Treyarch's next Black Ops game, which is now being pushed back until 2024. I went in depth with this topic and the repercussions of this in my previous video, check that out down below. But as I mentioned briefly in that video, I think short term it could be really concerning, frustrating, and weird for players out there who may primarily enjoy Treyarch games, or for content creators that primarily cover Treyarch Call of Duties. But long term, this could mean we end up getting one of the best games that Treyarch has ever developed, with hopefully the most amount of content. Now, Activision has danced around these claims a little bit, and they're not confirming or denying anything, but they are saying, hey, there are still premium releases coming out in 2023, but that could actually be in reference to the free-to-play title, which also got rumored by Bloomberg yesterday, which Treyarch apparently does have a helping hand in. So we're all confused in the community as to what this means, whether or not it's legit or not. I do think it's real. I mean, it's Bloomberg, right? So they wouldn't be making this up. So only time will tell, of course, but I'm sure you won't hear more about 2023 Call of Duty until maybe an investors call 8 months from now, or even more. I mean, who knows when we'll end up hearing more about this. But if you guys just care about zombies and hope that this somehow allows a Chronicles 2 to exist, then let's take a look at what this means, right? So we have a tweet from Ralph, a very interesting scooper who has been claiming very specific information about Modern Warfare 2, and some of the things he's revealed thus far have added up and have been confirmed. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but it'll only be when MW2 comes out when we truly know how legitimate he was. And it just seems like he has some type of source behind the scenes at Infinity Ward or QA tester, somebody with loose lips that for some reason wants to talk to this guy. And he puts out a zombies emoji tweet, and then below it puts 2023. So with that, I'm like, wait a second, 2023? If Treyarch's next game has come out 2024, then what is a zombies 2023 experience look like? I mean, we do know that Treyarch has some involvement in the free-to-play game that's supposedly coming out in 2023, so maybe zombies is a part of that somehow, and that can kind of fill the gap until Treyarch's next Black Ops releases. Maybe that's what it is, because you know Modern Warfare 2 isn't going to have zombies at all, unless somehow Infinity Ward wants to do it, and they somehow incorporate zombies into that DMZ Escape from Tarkov type mode that's been rumored. I mean, we could speculate all day about what this means, and then we got a follow-up tweet earlier this morning where he says that zombies emoji is not in reference at all to the free-to-play game. He puts out a gif of somebody building, and then he claims that whatever the free-to-play experience is has to do with building. That's our hint. And what do you know? We already reported on that, not only in yesterday's video, but even in a video I think well over a year and a half ago, when we had scoopers out there claiming that Sledgehammer was working on a free-to-play Call of Duty experience that featured building. We're not sure if that means type of save the world experience like Fortnite. We're not sure if it's like the war mode from World War II 2017, where you could build different structures and advance to different areas of the map for objectives. We're not sure what that is, but I think if anything, it makes sense that Sledgehammer's working on a free-to-play Call of Duty, because I mean, they've expanded all of their studios. They have, I think, the biggest dev studio right now, yet somehow Vanguard is in the worst state it's ever been, or at least worse than it was at launch, and it isn't really getting much attention, much support. So we're like, what is Sledgehammer doing? I mean, out of the 3 game modes that are being updated right now in Vanguard, MP, Ranked, and Zombies, Treyarch has made 2 of them. So it's like, okay, Sledgehammer has to be working on something else, right? And I'm assuming it's that free-to-play game. But we also have a claim from gaming super Tom Henderson, who put out a tweet many months ago saying that a separate COD Zombies project was in development, but he did not say it was free to play. Now, is this separate standalone Zombies experience some type of Halo Forge custom map maker type of game? Maybe it is. I mean, with the rumors of Call of Duty changing drastically with the release of Modern Warfare 2, we're supposed to be getting a Call of Duty hub type app, which kind of resembles Disney Plus, where you can see all the currently updated Call of Duties playable in one space. I'm not sure if that means all of them get downloaded at once so you can seamlessly transition between each one, or if it's just a hub where you can choose which CODs you want to download, which ones you want to play that are being currently updated. We're not sure how that's going to work, but maybe this Standalone Zombies project will be bootable through this Disney Plus type hub that we're supposed to be getting soon. Now, in terms of 2023 zombies though, right, now that we've addressed those rumors from these various scoopers, I'm like, all right, what if it's not the Standalone Zombies game? What if it's not for the free-to-play game Sledgehammer's working on? What could Treyarch be working on then for 2023 zombies? Is it an update for Cold War? Is this the Zombies Chronicles 2 we've been waiting for? I'm just not quite sure about that. And I still think it's funny that if Treyarch doesn't really come back with anything new until 2024, then Vanguard Zombies is our last experience until then, which is not really a good note to end on, and I highly doubt we're going to get any updates to Vanguard Zombies in 2023. So I think no matter what we get in 2023, it'll be huge for people out there that, like I said, maybe primarily cover Treyarch games, or primarily play zombies, or just prefer the Treyarch playstyle over Infinity Wards. But will that take away development from Treyarch's next Black Ops 2024, right? If they come out with this free-to-play standalone zombies project in the next year, then how does that impact the development of the next game? I just don't want Treyarch to be interrupted in any way with development of their next game. I want to be able to see a fully polished game that gets 3 years of work, if not more, also ensuring that we get 6 full seasons, if not more, for that game's DLC cycle. So there's so many questions right now, but here's the thing, right? A standalone zombies project, which I'd assume is being worked on by Treyarch, that could end up featuring all our fan favorite maps in one application, whether it's all of them beautifully remastered in HD for current gen hardware, whether it's bringing in maps never got a faithful remaster before, because I know we have reimaginings of Mob of the Dead, Call of the Dead 5, and Nuketown. They got reimagined for Black Ops 4 and weren't really the same as the originals, of course. They actually furthered the narrative in Black Ops 4, so what if we see faithful versions of those maps beautifully remastered and brought back in this standalone project, right? That can kind of count as a Zombies Chronicles 2, and everybody knows we never got the Victis maps either in any way, shape, or form. I mean, minus the little areas that got added to multiplayer or into Blackout during BO4. So a standalone Zombies game, I think, is what everybody's been asking for. It's what everybody wants. I mean, I think the expectation might be a bit too high for that, because everybody would expect some type of Nightmares, but on a different level, type campaign experience for zombies, right? Or there's actual missions that also have your round-based maps, maybe have your Outbreak, have your Duran Fung styles. I mean, I think people are probably expecting every type of formula to be included in this standalone zombies game, not just round-based, but only time will tell what this ends up turning out to be. Now, don't forget, Treyarch's very own Kevin Drew, who I don't believe has even worked on Vanguard Zombies, did play around with the idea of Chronicles 2 by saying, 1, it doesn't really exist, and 2, if you want it to exist, keep advocating for it, but not to spam or harass devs about it every day, because it's certainly above their pay grade at Treyarch to make something like this happen. So maybe before the Microsoft acquisition goes through, Activision says, all right, let's greenlight this project for Treyarch, let's have them get this up and running, whether it's for Cold War, whether it's for a standalone game, or maybe Microsoft will have to be the one, once they're in charge in the next year and a half, they can go ahead and say, okay guys, we want this to happen, get it in development, get something going. I mean, it's totally unclear what's going to happen with this, but I think even if the maps got ported from BO4 into Cold War, Chronicles 2 still doesn't really exist, because how do we know what those Victis maps were for? How do we know what their purpose was going to be? What if it wasn't for a Chronicles 2? What if it was for some other thing entirely that we have no idea about, which still could also come out? I mean, the more the merrier here, but I love the fact that somebody at Treyarch finally acknowledged the fact that the community really, really wants this. But as a bit of a recap, right, let's take a stroll down memory lane for a second as to what Zombies Chronicles 2 really is and why it's a complicated topic. So go back to 2017 when Zombies Chronicles 1 came out. It immediately became the best-selling map pack in PlayStation history, and I think still is to this day. It sold extremely well. It was expensive. It cost $30, but had 8 remastered maps. It was a fantastic update to Black Ops 3 that I think everybody could have asked for. But you fast forward a little bit after that, we have Comic-Con shortly before the release of Black Ops 4, where somebody asked Jason Blundell and Craig Houston if we can get a Zombies Chronicles 2, where Blundell then says, with a smirk on his face, that he'll think about it. And in terms of what that meant, well, look at Black Ops 4. That entire game, for the most part, in terms of ether, is a Zombies Chronicles 2. They brought in the maps that didn't really get remastered at all in the first pack. Mob of the Dead, Call of the Dead, 5, Nuketown. We got those maps, but they weren't faithful, of course. They were remakes, or reimaginings, I should say, with new areas, new Easter eggs, new storylines. So we got that, but then all that was left through Black Ops 4 was the Victis maps. We're like, okay, we didn't get any remakes of those, even though there were so many assets for them in multiplayer in Blackout. The Victis crew became playable during Tag Der Toten, so we're like, this is the game where it makes the most sense to bring those maps back. Whether you remake them and you have new story on them, new Easter eggs to kind of fit in between maybe Alpha, Omega, and Tag Der Toten, or whether you just drop them for fun as regular remasters with the same Easter eggs from 2012. Whatever they wanted to do, it just made the most sense for Black Ops 4. So then you look at the summer before Modern Warfare 2019 came out, and even before the release of Tag Der Toten, you had some really loose lips behind the scenes at Infinity Ward. I don't know who it was, whether it was devs, QA, sharing every bit of information they possibly could about Modern Warfare 2019 with different content creators, random Twitter accounts, and a lot of that information ended up coming true about the game. I mean, to a T. The weapons, the maps, the seasonal events, the operators, the storyline, the fucking subtitles. And these same people were coming out and saying that a Zombies Chronicles 2 existed and the Victis maps were already done and were just around the corner from coming out. Obviously, they never released, but the only update we got after that from these same people on the internet was that the maps got ported into COD 2020. And that's, of course, Black Ops Cold War. So we're still like, hey, where are those maps at? I mean, I'm not a dev or an engineer or anybody behind the scenes, so I can't tell you guys, oh yeah, the maps were ported, and oh yeah, it makes the most sense. I just plop them over into Cold War and they're ready to go. I can't confirm that for you, but what I could say is Cold War is fairly similar to BO4 and isn't really a major engine shift from their previous game, so I think it could have probably worked to just port those maps over. But you look at everything from a narrative standpoint, how would those maps even fit in Cold War? I just don't think they would. The only thing I could see is some type of green run Outbreak experience, because that's what Transit was supposed to be anyway in Black Ops 2. But we look at that and we're like, okay, that was the last we heard from these random leakers and scoopers on the internet. And yeah, me being excited about this information, I made plenty of videos about it a couple of years ago when there wasn't much going on with MW that I was interested in. That was a topic that I did have interest in. I'm like, hey, everybody wants to hear about it, everybody wants updates on it. Let's talk about what we know, what I know, what I've heard, what you guys have probably heard. Let's recap all that information and what really happened, right? I think a lot of people out there, for some reason, just didn't want that DLC to release in Black Ops 4. They didn't like Black Ops 4 at the time, so everybody kind of shut down those rumors and said, yeah, we don't care, yeah, it's clickbait, yeah, it's BS. But look at today, and everybody wants a Zombies Chronicles 2, everybody wants to see those remakes again, and people aren't even asking for them for Cold War. They just want to see them in any fucking Black Ops game, whether it's BO3, BO4, or Cold War at this point. So now everybody wants it, and I guess they should have advocated for it more during Black Ops 4 when it made the most sense, when it was probably more possible to do it. Now, considering the Eddie reveal at the end of Forsaken, I'm like, alright, well, if Victis is still alive in the Dark Ether, then in their next game, maybe we could explore that a little bit. Maybe Samantha comes across them since she went back in there, and maybe that can pave the way for seeing remakes of those Victis maps that desperately need reimaginings with better Easter eggs, better layouts, and significant improvements. Now, hypothetically, if those Victis maps did get ported into Cold War and they're going to be repurposed or released at some point as a DLC update, then I wouldn't see that happening until after Vanguard Zombies stops getting support. And I don't see Vanguard Zombies getting more than one more map. I could be mistaken. I could barely see Vanguard getting 6 full seasons of content, and if it does, then I don't expect the next couple of seasons to be anything crazy, anything major, considering how down bad the game currently is. So maybe the small team they have working on Vanguard Zombies right now would be moved over onto developing some small Cold War Zombies DLC once they have the time in a couple of months. I wouldn't see the larger part of the Treyarch studio that's probably working on the free-to-play game and COD 2024 right now. I wouldn't see them kind of going backwards and working on Cold War. I would only see the dev team that is currently working on Vanguard that could probably slip some time in to work on repurposing a Victis map or creating a new experience for us. Now, I know Zombies is much different from multiplayer, but considering the year 2 content that we know exists and is in-game, just not released yet, right? We have our DLC weapons, we have our maps WMD and Jungle, we have more bundles, some other game modes coming out. The fact that all of that exists, I'm like, all right, well, maybe throw in some Zombies content if possible at some point. Maybe an LTM or two. I mean, we would hope for a new map. I mean, grab the damn Ruka Bunker, which is a fantastic area, throw it into Onslaught or throw it into a round-based experience of sorts. We already have all the machines down there. So I just think there's a lot of potential for more Cold War Zombies content, but in terms of when that can happen, it's a big question mark. But hey, we have something Zombies related coming in 2023, which I think you guys are all probably very excited about now. So fingers crossed, something that really meets expectations expectations or surpasses them. We also have a tweet that I wanted to address from high rounder and world record holder OBMC, or MZ Zombie Slayer over on Twitter. He went ahead and said that if Chronicles 2 were to release in Cold War, here's some of the strategies that he could envision. Over in Die Rise, maybe in the shaft area, you could use Ring of Fire, M79, Sliquifire. For the map 5, if it got faithfully remastered, over in the elevator, again, Ring of Fire, M79, Winter's Howl. For Buried, it would be interesting for spots, but probably either the B23R wall buy or speedrun tunnel, plus M79, some wonder weapons, and Ring of Fire. I mean, yeah, that would be insane. For Transit, just before you go into town with the shortcut, the 2 spawn there, Raygun, Ring of Fire, and M79, hell yeah. A Faithful Call to Dead, probably just power 1 spawn or boat strat. If they pass the 1 spawn, using Scavenger plus probably Energy Mine maybe, or Frost Blast. Then for Nuketown, M79, Ring of Fire, anywhere around the map, it's a small map. And then lastly, we have Mob of the Dead, if we got a Faithful remaster, double tap area plus Ring of Fire, Raygun, M79. I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't even mind if they released the Chronicles 2 and Black Ops 4. I know it wouldn't happen, but that game is just suited for these damn Victis maps. Not only because of the Victis operators and the assets, but even some of the perks in that game. I mean, Blaze Phase, for example, that was perfect for Green Run. So I can think of so many examples as to why Chronicles 2 fits best in BO4, but if they can make it work for Cold War or for some standalone zombies project, I'm all for it. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on a 2023 zombies experience, which could actually include a Chronicles 2? And what are you thinking about future updates for Cold War? Could they happen? Do you want Vanguard zombies and that lifespan to end as fast as possible so we can get some more attention on other projects that Treyarch could work on? Let me know what you're thinking down below. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.